species habitat. That means habitats means the places in which the organisms live. And ecosystem in a particular place here, as they have seen in a particular place, and various parts of the earth. So it includes the at particular place as well as the at various parts at a particular place. Out of genes, that means the characters that inherit from the parents' gene pools, that means the collection of the genes, species, habitats, as well as ecosystem. The term biodiversity was coined by W.G. Rosen in 1985. One minute, I will increase. Okay, and it popularized by it was coined by W.G. Rosen and was popularized by sociobiologists. Okay, and was popularized by E.O. Wilson in 1988. So after 3 years of the coining that term, it was popularized. And 22nd May is regarded as the International Biodiversity Day. So remember, in the examination they can ask that which date International Biodiversity was celebrated, means 22nd May. Now the concept, we will discuss the concept of biodiversity. It is divided into 3 types. First is genetic diversity, species diversity, and the ecological diversity. First, we will see the genetic diversity. Genetic diversity is the diversity in number. It is the number. And types of genes. Okay, and types of genes present in different species. In different species, and the variations within the same species. And the variation in species within the same species. So it includes the variation in number and the types of genes present and different variations within the same species. The examples are Rafflesia vomitaria is a plant that shows genetic variation in terms of concentration and potency of the chemical respirants. That means they have taken a chemical that shows the variation in the concentration and its potential level. Now in India, that means the country we live, there are 50,000 genetically different strains of rice and 1,000 varieties of mangoes. So in India there are more than 50,000 rice and 1,000 varieties of mango species are present. So genetic diversity is beneficial in adaptation. So if the genes are variable, that means if the environmental conditions are changing, so they can change. Look here, the genetic biodiversity is beneficial in adaptation to the environmental conditions, and they can evolve into the new species. So if they live in a cold and they go into the hotter conditions, so So due to the genetic diversity, they can be adapted to the environment and they can evolve into the new species from the existing one. Now, species diversity. We will see the species diversity. This is the number and richness of the species within an area. So within an area, what are the number of species and its richness in an area? Look here, number and richness. Now, if the species and the number are high, so the diversity is also rich. Look here, more the richness of the species, greater will be the diversity. That means if there are large number of plants, so the environment is cool and there are no floods. Okay, this is the case. Now richness. What is meant by richness and what is meant by species evenness? We will differentiate between these two. The number of species in a given area per unit area. The richness means in an area what is the number of species. Evenness in an even, for suppose there are 20 plants and 30 animals. That means if they are given that how many individuals are present in different species, that means 20 are the animals or plants and 30 are the animals. And it states that 20 is the species evenness of plants and 30 is the species evenness of animals. Okay. Now, species diversity is the product of the species richness and species evenness. So, it will, if we multiply this, 20 into 30 becomes 600. Excuse me. So, 600. That means species diversity means 600 species. So 20 to 30 gives us 600. According to International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, there are 1.7 million species were discovered. That means, what is the full form of IUCN? International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, and have described so far. In that, the 70% are animals and 22% are plants. That means there are 98%. So 7.7 millions. Now in India, there are two Ghats, Western Ghats as well as Eastern Ghats. So the Western Ghats have the greater amphibian count than that of the Eastern Ghats. Look here. The Western Ghats have greater amphibian species diversity than the Eastern Ghats. Now ecological, that means ecology, ecosystem, we can say in a simplified way. It is the measure of diversity at community and ecosystem level. Ecological means ecosystem as well as community levels. Now we have a sequence where organism, population, then community, then biosis, ecosystem as well as the biome. We have the sequence as we have seen in the organism and population chapter. Ecological community means diversity at the community and ecosystem level. Ecosystem and community level, the by one. Okay, now we will see they represent the unique habitat and regional components of species diversity. That means if we have see for a particular place, they represent for a particular place what is the number of the species diversity or the components, and represent the local. Look here, they represent local unique habitat as well as the regional component of the species diversity. Now we will see, they have given another definition. Ecological diversity relates to the number of habits or ecosystem in a given area of biosphere. For suppose in India we live, there are deserts, There are deserts, coastal areas, and tundras, ghats. That means in India there are lots of different type of ecosystem. That means lots of diversity. They are saying that the number of habitats in India where they have more than 6 types of habitats or ecosystem in a given area, given region of biosphere. Okay, for example, terrestrial includes, that means the how we can say the land one, that means grasslands, grasses, forest, and coastal means the species which are nearer to the sea or water bodies. That means estuaries. Estuaries means the place at which the river joins the sea. And mangroves. We know that mangrove plants. That means the roots are dissolved in the water. Coral reefs, etc. Now, ecological biodiversity is in India. We have discussed now in India is due to the presence of large number of ecosystems. In India, we have large number of ecosystems like deserts, that means Thar desert, rainforest, and coral reefs, wetlands, estuaries, and alpine meadows. Okay, now we will see the genetic species and diversity. What is mean? Genetic diversity means in the diversity in number and types of genes present in different species and variation in species with the same species. That species diversity means the product of species richness as well as the species evenness. Okay, and ecological means the measure of diversity at community level and ecosystem level. Now we will see the community diversity. Community, that means the group of the population forms the community. The variations in biological communities in which species live, that means in which we live, is called the community biodiversity. Now there are 3 types: alpha, beta, as well as gamma. First we will see alpha. Alpha means within community. That means the diversity within the species living area. A community means the between communities. That means if we in India we have Indian community, and if in America we have the American community. So the community between India and America is called beta community. Now we will see what is meant by alpha biodiversity. It is the within the community. That means within the local area. How many species? What is the biodiversity of the organisms within the community? They are saying it represents the diversity of organisms sharing the common community or habitat. Look here, the diversity of organisms sharing the same community and habitat. That means they are living in the same community. So they share the common habits, common habits, same temperature, same air pressure, and all. A combination of species richness. That means in a community, what are the species richness and what is the evenness? Means how many animals and how many plants, how they interact with the environment. It represents within a community. So look here, it is within a community. It is within a community. Now, beta community. Look here, it refers to the replacement of species. That means if you go to America, the habitat will change. That means their life habit will change, the food habits will change, and the environment also will change. Our community due to the presence of different microhabits. If we take in the presence of the forest, there are niches and the environmental conditions will change. Different microhabits, niches, and difference in the environmental conditions. Examples: diversity in composition of species, coral reef, that means it is one type of biodiversity, and intertidal zone is known as beta diversity. If we take the countries, they will have the different type of communities. Gamma, it is the different geographical areas, and alpha beta have the same geographical areas. Look here, it is replacement of species. It is similar habits, but beta means different habits. Difference in environmental conditions. Look here, the difference in the environmental conditions. The examples are the difference in species between coral reef in Gulf of Kutch and Andaman Islands. Andaman Island is present at the base of the India. And it is a coral reef, that is Gulf of Kutch. Now we will see the patterns. Patterns. It is not uniform. For example, if we live at the sea level, so we will see the more diversity. But if we go to the hills, that means in India we have the Himalayas. If we go to Himalayas, the species will be less because the condition, environmental conditions, temperature, pressure will change. Look here, it is not uniform throughout the world, and it varies to the change in latitude or altitude. That means if we have the if we have the change in latitude, that means if we move high from the sea level, for example this is the sea level, there are more, and if we go, this is the Himalayas, so there will be less. This is the same latitude. We will see the latitudes. Biodiversity increases from the pole to the equator. That means if we move from the Himalayas to the equator, it will increase. Biodiversity will increase. From Himalayas there will be less, but we have, in equator there will be more biodiversity. That means from high to low. And the temperature, the temperate region has several climates, whereas tropical region has favorable climate. In temperate we have summer, winter and rainy, but in the tropical region there will be only single climate, that means either winter or summer or rainy, we can say. In temperate region, temperate means several climatic areas. Plant grows for in temperate area there are lot of climate changes, and plant grow for short period. Look here, because the climate will not suitable through, it's not same for the throughout the year. In tropical areas, favorable climatic conditions favor the growth of new. Tropical means the conditions will be same throughout the year, so it will growth of the new species. The example is tropical forest. Tropical forest is less seasonal. As I say, it is the same. The temperature is, the season is same throughout the year. So, it is predictable. Now, in the temperate region. In temperate region, there are a lot of seasons. Okay. Now we will see the altitude. Decrease in species is observed from lower to higher altitude on a mountain. So if we move from the lower altitude to the higher altitude, the diversity will decrease. And if the altitude increases by if the altitude increases by 1000 meters, the temperature is 6.5 degrees. So for every 1000 meter increase in altitude, the temperature, so we can say that 1000 increase. If 1000 increases, then 6.5 degrees will decrease. So fall in temperature and greater seasonal availability at higher cost of reduction in species. So the temperature will fall and the seasonal variability is higher. So it causes reduction in species. Now we will see what is the importance from the beginning. We have the introduction, the concept of what is the concept, and what is the patterns, how the biodiversity will change from the species, from the lower to higher or higher to lower, what is the conditions, what is the effects, and so on. Now we will see what is the importance of the biodiversity. Biodiversity is important because it is essential for the health of the biosphere. That means if in a community there are more plants and more animals and they move, that means the animals which rely on the plants will stay longer, and the plants which helps in the photosynthetic activity, which helps in good oxygen and lowering the CO2 content. Look here, it is the health. And bio-industrial development, that means oxygen O2 release management will be taken by the plants. So there are more plants. Now what are the importance? First we will see what are the importance and then we will discuss individually. First, it is helping stability of the ecosystem. The ecosystem stability and source of food and improved varieties. Okay, first is stability, second is for food and with improved varieties and useful products, the product which is useful for the mankind as well as animals and so on. Drugs and medicine, that means for curing the various types of medicines, diseases, and scientific value, that means they are used for the experimental work and they help in the production of the new vaccines and so on. Aesthetic and cultural. Okay, now it is if you have festivals and we will pray them because they keep our mind calm. And ecosystem services, that means it helps in the maintenance of ecosystem balance or stability of ecosystem services. Now importance, first we will see the importance, stability. So if they have more species, they are more stable. Okay, if the species are more, the community will be more stable. If there is some less disturbance, they can be defined to the disturbance. If the alien species came to the species, due to the high species, they can invade. That means they can completely eliminate the alien species from the ecosystem. Plots with more diversity means show higher productivity. So we can say that more species means more stable, and if we have the some disturbance, they can resist, and it can resistant to invasion. So they can eliminate the invasion of the foreign species, and they show more. If we have the more diversity, they can produce the higher productivity. Now for the source of food and improved varieties, it provides food for eating, for animals, for humans, and so on. And it helps in the production source of new crop varieties. So they have natural local varieties and wild varieties. For the production of new varieties, we can cross the local varieties and the wild varieties. Now we will see what is the major one, that is wheat. corn and rice contribute to the two-thirds of the world's food population. So world two-third population was depends upon the wheat variety, corn variety, as well as the rice variety. Now in 22% we have seen that 22% are plants. In that 80,000 species are used as a food. 80% are used as a food. Okay. If we can also get food from animals also, like fish. Livestock means chicken, mutton as you eat. Livestock as well as forestry. And it also helps in the breeding improved variety. As I say that if we want to get, for suppose if it is the local variety, it is not able to resist the disease and having the more yield, but this is the wild variety. It is having less yield, but it can resist to disease. So we can cross this and we can develop a species. This is the species that new breed one. This has the more quality and quantity and has able to defend the disease resistant. Okay, this is the case. It's here showing useful products. Now from plants we can get cotton bags, cotton pants, cotton chapels, flax, hemp, jute, agave, abaca are the plants are the sources of major source of fibers from plant sources like cotton, flax, hemp, jute, agave and abaca. And they give the useful products like gums, resins, dyes, colored dyes, perfumes, waxes, lubricants, that means lubricants which we use in our vehicles, hydrocarbons, alkanes, alkynes, rubber, latex, tannins, paper, the paper which we use to write, tea, coffee, fruits. And latex is commercially used from euphorbiaceae plant. So latex is commercially used from which plant? Euphorbiaceae plant. Okay. Animal species provide wool, fur, leather, honey, lac, silk, waxes, pearls and ivory. So animals provide wool, fur, leather, lac, honey, silk, waxes, pearls and ivory. And while plants provide the fibers, gums, resins, dye, perfumes, waxes, lubricants, hydrocarbons, rubber, latex, tannins, paper, tea, coffee and so on. Drugs and medicines. More than 70,000 species, that means 80,000 species are used for two-thirds of the world food population and 70% are used in traditional and modern medicine. Excuse me, the pencil is not working. I will check. Okay, it is working. Traditional and modern medicines. So 70,000 species are plant species. Out of 22%, 20,000 species are used in traditional and the modern medicine works. The examples are quinine is a drug used to cure malaria that obtained from Cinchona ledgeriana. Ledgeriana. You can remember it is Cinchona ledgeriana. Okay. Quinine is derived from the Cinchona ledgeriana and it is used to cure malaria. Taxol. Taxol is used from the bark of the tree, that is Taxus brevifolia and Taxus baccata, for treating cancer. So, Taxol is used from the plant Taxus brevifolia and Taxus baccata. It is used for treating cancer. Post your doubts on the comment section. And penicillin is used to derive a fungus called penicillin. Penicillin is derived from the plant fungus species called Penicillium notatum. Here they have given only the species name, that means genus name. This penicillin, the complete name is Penicillium notatum. Now the synthetic products that means plants are used for production of synthetic ones. They are called botanochemicals. And synthetic value. Now animals are used in biological and medical research. Now we have coronavirus. So for scientists have provided the vaccine. Found that vaccine is present. So to test if the vaccine is correctly using or not, first they use the frog. First they use the rat. After that monkey. After that animal. After that human at last. So the animals are fruit fly, frog, rat, rabbit, guinea pig, dog, monkey, for the scientific value. Aesthetic and cultural one. That means aesthetic. They have animals are good. If you watch bird watching, it will keep our mind calm. Pet keeping. So it helps our mind peace. And gardening, making our lawns neat. And wildlife sanctuaries. That means they have lions, tigers, that means Nehru Park in Hyderabad, that's all. Ecotourism, that means tourism. Many plants are considered they are during festivals, they are sacred, that means sacred and worshipped. During the festivals, look, Osimum sanctum, that means Tulsi, Ficus religiosa, people. Ficus religiosa means people, and Osimum sanctala means Tulsi. Now ecosystem services. Okay. And ecosystem services, they help in maintaining the biological cycles of ecosystem. That means if they have the floods, if we have floods, now how can we regulate? This is through the biodiversity. I mean, if we have more species, we can have more one. Biological cycles of the ecosystem. Now forest release I said that if in a forest there are more plants, that means it helps in the increasing oxygen content in the atmosphere and decreasing the carbon dioxide content, and it will help in the reduction of the greenhouse gases and global warming. And butterflies, bees, honeybees, bats, birds all carry out the pollination of flowers. That means honeybees, birds and bats and birds helps in the pollination of flowers. Before continuing to the next topic, please like, share and subscribe to our channel Mahatma Academy. Now we will see what is the consequences and loss of the biodiversity. 1 minute, what is the end? Okay, we have 6 points. Okay, we will stop after discussing the loss of biodiversity and extinction of species. The major causes are, what is the major causes of biodiversity? That is habitat loss. That means in a forest, for the sake of the wood for furniture, the biodiversity is lost, and it helps in the fragmentation. That means fragments, the moving of cutting into parts. So first, destruction of habit is primary cause of extinction. That means if in a forest there are at initial stage there are lots of plants, but due to the deforestation the plants are cutted and the habitat is lost to the wild animals. So it is called the extinction. That means loss of the animals permanently. Now we can say that at initial tropical forests are 14% and tropical rainforests are 14% at first, and they are reduced to 6% now. Okay, now we know that Amazon rainforest, it is present in North America. That is, it is called as lung of the planet Earth. Now, if the trees are cutted for the cultivation of soya bean or for the conversion of, and it converted into grasslands for raising beef cattle. Okay, pollution due to automobiles has, that means the pollution from the automobiles has degraded number of important species. Deforestation, we have seen first, there are lots of plants in forest, and if they are deforested the habitat will be cut. Urbanization, soil erosion, forest fires, overgrazing. That is overgrazing. If the animals are reared for a particular limit, they can be enough. Forest fire. If the forest fire is high, the global warming, the CO2 level will increase into the atmosphere. Natural habits of animals have destroyed. That means in a forest, the house of the animals are forest. Now, due to the construction of dams and reservoirs, they can destroy, and it causes the extinction of the species. And it also building of roads and industries. Now, when large size habits are broken into smaller size called human settlements, it's called fragmentation. That means at first there are large forests, but after human settlement started, they are becoming small, and it's called fragmentation. Look here. When large size habitats are broken into smaller and scattered areas due to human settlements, it is called fragmentation of habitats. Okay? Fragmentation of habitats. Forest area is surrounded by, now you can see there is a small forest that is surrounded by urban colonies, orchids, and cross plants represent the fragmented, which causes disappearing species from deeper areas. Now, for suppose there is a lion, it requires larger area to survive, but there is no larger area, it can extinct. That's all. It's a simple one. Animals requiring larger areas for survival are adversely affected, leading to a decrease in population, whereas larger area becomes smaller area. Fragmentation leads to formation of small population of animals which are not able to sustain, and it also affected migrated which not move to the scattered patches. That means, for example, Siberian cranes, which comes to India during winter of Siberia. now the Siberian cranes are decreasing because the Siberian the Bharatpur land is decreasing due to fragmentation. Right? It does not sustain for the migratory birds to come to the scattered patches. Natural causes of extinction, if it is done by natural, it is the example of earthquake, floods, and landslides and wildfire. Forest fire, but remember, forest fire is due to humans only. Wildfire is natural, invasion of alien species. For suppose there is the prey and the predator. This is the prey and this is the predator. For suppose if we invade the alien species, that means the species are from the other ecosystem. This is the prey. That means this is the this is the alien species. So it can eat fast the foreign one, that is prey, than the predator. So the predator population will decrease and the prey population will decrease. So it can cause the ecology damage to the biodiversity of the area in which the alien species is invaded. So we can say some alien exotic species when introduced unintentionally or deliberately became invasive. That means they can even eat the prey fishes faster than the. That means the eating rate is fast and cause harmful impact. So here it is it results in extinction of the indigenous species. For example, Nile perch. It is a large predator fish. When introduced into Lake Victoria, caused the invasion of ecological unique species of chill. So, in the Lake Victoria, a chill fish is present. Okay. Now, when the Nile perch is introduced into the Lake Victoria, the extinction of the chill fish is occurred. Now, invasive species like Parthenium, Lantana, Ecornia have caused environmental damage and post treatment to our native species. So, if we introduce the foreign species, they can cause damage to our local species only, but it can't damage to them because they are invaded from these foreign varieties. Co-extinction. Okay. When a species becomes that means if there is a plant and there is an animal. Okay. If the plant is extincted, the animal eating the plant will also be eliminated. So he is saying that when a species is eliminated, the plant and animal species associated with it in an arbitrary manner also become extinct. So if one is extincted, the other one is also extincted, and the one which depends on the animal one will also extincted. So if the host fish it becomes extinct, all the parasites, that means if there is a parasite, this is the parasite, this is the body, and if the parasite is present inside the body, if it is extincted, so the parasites will also extinct because they are residing inside the body or on the body. Now indiscriminate hunting, that means there is a cause. Animals are hunted for various. Now animal skins are very valuable and they can provide various services to the humans. So they can hunt it without a proper limit. So they can hunt by crossing a limit. So if it cause extinct of some species. Now animals are being hunted for various animal products like animal skin, fur, hides, leather, ivory, and horns. And it can cause extinction because the hunting for a limit can cause some damage. If it cross a limit, it can cause more extinction. For suppose, dodo bird is migrator extinction because it was killed. It was indiscriminate hunting for its beautiful feathers. Extinction of the cheetah, the fastest mammal from India. So we have lost the fastest mammal, that is cheetah. Now we will see the last one, that is what is the types. There are natural, mass extinction, and anthropogenic. Natural means due to the natural condition. That means due to the changes in environmental conditions. It is slow because it is due to change in environmental conditions. It is gradual and continuous process which occurs in the geological past. It will occur definitely at any point of time. It is a gradual continuous process that has occurred. It is gradual. It will continue till last. It is called background extinction. Now, due to the catastrophe, that means due to the hitting of any asteroids into the earth, of any planet, it can cause mass extinction. Look here, extinction of large number of species. Due to the catastrophe, it is called mass extinction, and it occurs large number of times in the geological history. And it disappears and it helps in the disappearance of dinosaurs with 50% of extinct species at the end of now due to a catastrophe at the end of the Cretaceous period. The dinosaurs are extincted with 50% of the existing species. So in a catastrophe period, the species which are existing, of which 50% are extincted along with the dinosaurs. Now, anthropogenic, that means due to the human activities. Natural means due to the natural calamities. And mass means due to catastrophic activity, and human means human activity. It has been estimated that World Conservation Monitoring Center states that about 384 plant species and 533 animal species have been extincted from 1600 AD to now. 384 plant species are extincted and 533 animal species are extincted. India only alone, that 459 species. So from India only 459 species are extincted, of which 86 species of mammals, 70 of birds, 25 of reptiles, 3 of amphibians, and 8 of fishes, and 23 are invertebrates, and 244 are plants. So higher number of plants are extincted from India from 600 AD to now. So 86 mammals, 70 birds, 867, 253, 823. The trick is 867 253823. Okay, now we have completed the part 1 of the biodiversity and conservation chapter, that is biodiversity. We have completed this biodiversity, and in the next session we will discuss about the conservation. Okay students, first like, share and subscribe to mahatmaacademy.com. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Bye.